There is another shooting in Louisville, Kentucky today. And just like the shooting that happened 2 weeks ago in Nashville, the governor knew 2 of the victims.
I have a very close friend that didn't make it today. And I have another close friend who didn't either, and one who's at the hospital that I hope is going to make it through. So when we talk about praying, I hope people will. For those that we are hoping can make it through the surgeries that they're going through, and then we've got to do what we have done these last 3 years after everything. We've got to wrap our arms around these families. And to everybody who needs it, don't be afraid to get some help. This is awful.
This time the victims were in a bank, and I hope while we're praying, we also put forth sensible gun legislation. I've said that before, and here we are again.
Welcome back. 2 weeks ago, we did a similar video like this, sad news. I came across this recently. I don't know if you have seen this. The gunman who opened fire during a morning conference at the Old National Bank in downtown Louisville, Kentucky, has been identified as an employee at the bank. Authorities say Connor was responsible for the latest mass event on Monday at 8:30 a.m. when he entered the bank with an AR-15 style and started firing. Police, however, said he was 23. Sturgeon linked profile shows that he was employed for just 1 year at the bank as a syndication associate and portfolio banker after previously serving as an intern. It also shows that he earned a master in...
We are going to go straight to the police who are giving a press conference.
Louisville Metro Safe received a report of shots fired and a possible active shooter at 333 East Main Street at the Old National Bank. Within 3 minutes of being dispatched, officers arrived on scene and encountered the suspect almost immediately, still suspect, and ultimately the suspect did die at the scene. We are trying to confirm if that suspect... 2 officers were shot during this exchange of gunfire. 1 is currently in surgery at University of Louisville Hospital. At least 4 more victims were confirmed to be deceased inside the location, as well as 8 that are now currently being treated at the University Hospital. 2 are critical, one of those being the officer. We're currently working to identify all of the victims, work with their families for reunification, and provide services to the families and the victims. The investigation, I want to reiterate, is ongoing. This will be a long scene. It will take pretty much into the night. So I'll still ask that the public avoid the area.
Yes, when I check on his profile circulating on Twitter, this is what I see. Syndication associate and portfolio banks for All National Bank. Pronouns he, him. That is his pronouns. I don't want to go into the politics of what is happening now. Let's wait to see if more findings will come out. May their souls rest in peace. And for those still suffering, we pray they recover. Immediately, the White House came out and blamed the Republicans for this again. We saw that last 2 weeks. Now, the same thing.
This time in Louisville, Kentucky. The President and the First Lady are praying for those killed and injured in the tragic shooting in Louisville and for the survivors who will carry the trauma for the rest of their lives. They are grateful for the LMPD officers who quickly and courageously stepped into the line of fire to save others. Once again, today, the President has called on Republicans in Congress to work together with Democrats to take action, to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, to require safe storage of firearms, to require background checks for all gun sales, to eliminate gun manufacturers' immunity from liability. These are common sense actions we can ask for and should be getting right now. And it's what Americans want. We know that majority of the American people support this. Instead, we've watched Republican official after Republican official after Republican official double down on dangerous bills that make our schools, that makes our places of worship, that makes our communities less safe, while too many Americans are paying with their lives. So again, we need to act, and we need Republicans to show some courage, Republicans in Congress. Over the weekend, a single court...
Nowhere is safe. Like seriously, if you really witness what is happening recently everywhere, it is sad. I don't understand what has actually triggered these people to be doing this. How on earth will you just sit and think of this kind of thing? If you are depressed or passing through some psychological problems, why not contact people that are specialists in that to counsel you? Okay, take for example now, he texted a friend that he want to do this, and the friend didn't even bother to look into what is happening. After it has happened, it started surfacing on social media that he texted a friend that he want to carry out this act, and he even went further to do that on Instagram. As he's carrying this out, and he was videotaping. If you look at someone like this, to me, the person is not okay. Because a normal person that is having feelings, you will not even think of this kind of thing. At a certain point, that can cause one to be depressed, but you need to examine yourself, sit. If you cannot, or if the thing is beyond you, why not contact people or even your closest friend, share ideas with them and seek advice than to do this? The White House would not even hesitate to really see what is happening. They will start the blame game. Republican, because of this issue of control. It saddens my heart to be reporting the kind of news every single time.
Will he do anything when it comes to gun violence in the U.S.? Is he effectively at this point powerless?
Look, Zeke, as you know, and as I've talked about, the president has talked about many times, the president in his first 2 years of the administration has done more executive action than any other president when it comes to gun violence, when it comes to stemming gun violence, when it comes to protecting our communities, our schools, and so he's taken action. He has taken action over and over again. Just last month, he was on the West Coast announcing another executive action, and we are seeing from these executive actions that he signed, more than a dozen, that the Department of Justice has taken some actions and pushing forward some of the kind of provisions in those actions, especially as you look at red flag laws and those types of programs. More than $300 million went to about 49 states and territories to put that into place in those states. So there is actions that we have taken. The thing is, the president cannot do it alone.